Of course, most of the auto-scrollers have been de-auto-scrolled for your speed racing. Give pleasure. We start with World 4, and the first fort we see is
I believe this is 6 Fort 1.
6 Fort 1, and
think.
DLP, who is part of our quad. We just took a death. We'll tell you who's on our screen. Of course, a returning Ace of Arrows, DLP, Teeks, and Gimp Extreme for our quad on screen this evening. We have racers in our SRL as well. We'll keep you track on what was the top time if the top time is not achieved on our screen.
Teeks manages to get the very quick kill on Boom Boom, and given the nature of this flag set, unfortunately that first fort does not open up the pipe to does not open up the bridge.
It does not build the bridge. Yeah, of course. Both we have one that unlocks the particular situation. Of course, we just found out that we have wasted our time with that fort, but it was one of those things you had to know. You had to know.
You need to try out the fort if it's right there.
Yeah, it's right there. You may as well do it, and it's usually an easy fixer. Our next fort, however, Gimp Extreme is revealing it to be Fort 5 Uno, the one on the ground.
Yep.
Taking a death in that particular fort. Gimp Extreme taking his time. Some Hammer Brother has action. And, of course, on DLP screen, the Hammer Bros deal out a hammer, brah.
Quality reward. Under this flag set, not only are the bricks, as usual, opened up through the hammers, but also locks, which might come into play this set.
May come into play, may not, we do not know, but a hammer is always useful, especially in the randomizer. For those wondering, for those people who are reaching 80,000 points, do we get do we have an event card? The answer is no. They have been disabled for this particular race.
Ooh, Ace of Arrows taking a death to Boom Boom. The worst
bad timing there.
Worst point to die in a fort.
Now, Teeks has the star. I don't know if he's going to reach the Koopaling at this point. If he does not. But for those wondering, it does not kill the Koopaling. It just gives you invincibility, so that's still useful. Regular 3-hitter for our first Koopaling of the evening.
Yep.
With Gimp Extreme just jumping ahead with a lead, with Teeks not too far behind, and DLP just reaching his the end of his airship with Ace Arrows behind.
I very slightly behind, but with the due to the nature of the randomizer, most auto scrollers are turned off, so being behind an airship, not necessarily the worst.
And you may have noticed the letter contained an anchor. Of course, in our randomizer anchors, we don't have airships because if you do die in an airship, the castle stays put. For those wondering, the anchor is indeed wild. It'll be the same thing no matter what, but if you do not know until you see it.
Yep.
We have World 2, in case you haven't noticed, on our second world of the evening, so feel free to type Fred in the chat if you do feel that is vanilla.
It is the desert, and once again, a fortress, just being in a nice kind spot. You don't have to go really out of your way much to get to it.
Of course, we saw Fort Knox as well. Most people took care of Fort Knox already. Actually, Teeks and DLP taking care of Fort Knox. And right now, Ace Arrow is just finishing up his first particular situation. He'll be joining us in World 2 in a few seconds.
Yep, and
for those wondering, there are a few things that are soft that are still provided in certain levels, including that Tanuki suit, because if you do not have a tail coming into Fort Knox, you can't fly up, which soft locks or hard locks the level, make it impossible to defeat or beat. So it is some aspects are left alone for that particular reason.
Yep. Gimp Extreme is playing very solid so far and is opening up a decent-sized lead so far. But it is early and a lot can happen in the randomizer.
A lot can happen. Ace Arrows could wind up winning this particular quad. We do not know until we get to HE double hockey sticks. For those wondering, all the worlds are randomized, despite the fact that we got World 2 as our second world. Duh. But the one thing that happens, of course, to win the race, you got to beat the game. How to beat the game? You get the World 8, you get the World 8, you beat the Koopa, you win the game, you win the game first, you win the race.
That was fantastic.
The gameplay or me reading the script?
Both.
Well, thank you, and I'm pretty sure the racers appreciate it.
Yes, no, we have 4 very good racers featured today, and so far, Gimp Extreme is continuing to bolt through these levels. Gimp Extreme choosing not to do the coin ship. Normally you want to avoid those for speed purposes, but with the auto-scroller off, it's not that long of a level, and you never know what item it'll be. But we'll see.
We're keeping an eye on things here. Mario and Gimp Extreme will reach the airship first, with Cheeks not too far behind. There is a Hammer Brother in the way, so he's going to get a goaltender. But an extra item for that goaltender, so that's not exactly a bad thing. He does pick up a star, which Gimp Extreme will not have, I assume, of course.
We have.
And we got a thick one.
Your basic heavy Koopa though. Just a 3-hitter.
It's a 3-hitter, a thick Koopa lane, but a regular 3-hitter, so not thick enough.
If you're gonna
takes care of that. We have Teeks not too far behind. He'll be joining us in a few seconds. But right now, 7 minute in Gimp Extreme, not doing too shabby. Sub 10 on the first 2 levels. Not the fastest time possible, but it is still a pretty decent one. We didn't get a chance. We have World 6 up next. Commentator's Curse. This is the slowest world. This is the longest world in the game.
Especially when you have a worthless pipe at the beginning. But with the World 2 Koopaling, if you're going to have a heavy boss, it's nice to just have it be a basic one like Morton on flat ground.
Of course. And that was indeed worthless. I'm just seeing it now. We have a star in the letter for World 2, our second world there. So, yeah, worthless because there's no bridge. The hammer cannot build a bridge.
Yeah.
Ooh, the dual big boys with the Hammer Brothers. There's some extra stuff too. Whoa, that's right. You rarely see 2 flowers pop up. That is actually interesting with Gimp Extreme. That is awesome. Does take care of that. He has a music box, so he doesn't want to. If he doesn't want to deal with the Hammer Brothers, that still handles it. Super Tanks is our next fort.
Oh, a beloved level. And a lot of fun to go through with the auto-scroller off.
It's a breeze, let me tell you. That being said, 1 hit, 2 hit, down goes Boom Boom.
Now with World 6, and based on the pipe placement I've seen, still going to be a long one.
Still, but at this point, it doesn't seem like a smart idea to go right back to to the pipe. Hammer Brothers dole out another P-Wing this time for Gimp Extreme. Meanwhile, Teeks is in World 6. DLP and Ace and Arrows neck and neck in the airship. Ace Arrows catching up.
Yep. Alright, so now everyone is into the lovely, lovely ice world. Bridge still not up, which almost certainly means that, which definitely means that the path to the castle itself is open now, which you never like to work your way to the castle in these flags. Only
This
to
is
find
one of those situations I'm sure someone out there is thinking, if I had a clad, I could probably skip that. Right now, no clads have been doled out yet, so this will be a long world, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, when you turn off the end card games, it really eliminates a very large portion of your available item pool.
For those wondering, we do have a quad here. We have other players in our SRL chat for Speedruns Live. It is live. Right now, you can actually see how everyone else is doing. To tell you who else is racing, Human Mustard, Macobra 007, and oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Take a look. I just took a look at a chat. Teeks has informed us his game has crashed on him.
Uh-oh. That
is not good.
That's a very, very unlucky.
That's not a bad sign. He actually got to the airship, to the Air Force first.
Yes,
and
he made good use of a hammer to do so.
He made a good use. He had caught up. He actually got a lead from Gimp Extreme, and now let's just hope it doesn't crash everything. It doesn't.
Oh man, that'd be sad. Everything crashing. The gambles on the mushroom.
And there we go. We have a forfeit from Teeks. He has stopped. He can no longer continue, so we have to forfeit. Unfortunately, it's declared forfeit. DNF at the airport.
Yeah. I mean, what can you do if it crashes? I wonder what happened to cause it to crash. But Gimp Extreme is in one of the 2 auto-scrollers in the Mario 3 randomizer. Because of the nature of how these levels function, you can't remove the auto-scroller, is my understanding. And this one is actually one of the, what's called a lost level, also known as a beta level, that can be thrown into the mix.
All right, I'll try to get some information from Teeks real quick.
Yeah, he did a great job using the hammer to break up block to make up some ground, but I didn't see exactly what happened. Just that a crash happened on the airship, in the Air Force. Meanwhile, DLP is having a lot of trouble with the stage that he is on because of the combination of Koopas giving him trouble, and our good friend Boss Bass, hero of the Mario 3 randomizer community.
The unofficial mascot, an anchor, is in our hands. Ladies and gentlemen, the hand levels do give out the same thing. In this case, the last level you see before we get to the end of the, it's basically we have a hand level. All 3 hand levels will provide a anchor, which we don't know specifically if that's been do not think we have seen anchor use yet.
So Gimp Extreme is sitting on a healthy lead, but Ace of Arrows and DLP, I think, have both been more hunting for Hammer Bros. So there could be just one brick or lock that completely changes this race. Ace of Arrows missing a jump there.
Yeah, bad luck there. A leaf is in our letter, and Gimp and Stream pretty much having the lead pretty much at this point. Ace of Arrows not too far behind, and the LP looks like he found Atlantis.
No, Atlantis, I believe, was the auto scroller that he did. This is, I believe, 6.
And
DLP,
DLP's green.
Oh, DLP, yes. I'm sorry, I misheard. It happens. Yes, DLP fits the loving nickname for this stage.
Oh, that's interesting. Gimp Extreme used the anchor. It is in fact a fire flower.
You know, that's a pretty solid anchor.
That's
item.
useful.
Well, and it looks like we are going to try and get Pro.
We're gonna try to get Pro in there. We are a little discombobulated. Our restreamer is, in fact, let me just make sure I get the name right first. It's Maid Worker,
who is indeed being asked to work very hard to get us a 4th runner up here. So thank you very much.
So Pro 007 will take his spot for you. We don't have the timer yet, but the other timers are working.
We
let's see what we have here. We have... Where are we? So he has the flower. So he's just entering World 5. So in our quad, he's technically last. But at this point, we don't even know.
At this point, he's about a level behind, but this is a long level, so we'll see. It'll also depend on how Gimp Extreme gets through. I believe this is 8-1, which is not.
It is indeed 8-1, which is not the easiest level to go through, even vanilla.
Especially because the randomizer loves putting that little fireball there.
Yeah, the hot foot. At least it is a regular vanilla hot foot, not the wild hot foot that we've seen before.
Alright. Good job getting through there. Through difficult science by both runners. And now we have a 4th that, based on the map layout, I believe is certainly going to open a bridge.
Yeah, Gimp took a death there, but he is at the World 3. And 1, 2, 3. Dead Boom Boom.
Yes, he's a dead Boom Boom.
Didn't go for that door strat that we've seen before. And the bridge was built there. He's got
I think DLP was hoping that this stage was a different one. He was hoping that he could fly over, hoping that they could fly over it, but not this one, sadly. That's a different level that takes you deep under the sea. Oh, and DLP taking a death. So, Ace of Arrows, I think, is assuming they get through this stage, which is not certainty. This is a difficult level. Could take 3rd place.
another star for Gimp Extreme. He's going to find the tunnel at the end where the Spiral Fortress would be. But that gets him up there, and actually pretty decent placement for that fortress. He's right at the end of the level.
It's about as good as you could ask for.
That's about that. That cuts that map in half. That is awesome.
And a smooth fight with Roy. And we have now reached the halfway point of the race. And we still have worlds 1, 3, 7, and 8 left, so...
Yeah, 8 will be at the end, so... What do we have here?
So with 3 and 7 both still in play, there is a lot that can happen.
And the letter we found... That looks like the flower there. We have World Uno.
So we are
next. Oh!
7.
No. Do we not like this? No, we do not like this.
Oh, it's 742. Everyone's favorite.
AKA the worst one in the dang game.
But doing a great job with the leaf to get through it so far. So this means that our final 3 worlds will probably be the ones that can be the trickiest in the flag set we have, 3, 7, and 8. So, all right.
DLP will pick up an extra item before getting to the steps. Pro 007 will join us in World Uno in just a few minutes. Ace Arrows making a pit stop, picks up an extra leaf. DLP just taking care of the Boom Boom, and so does Skimp Extreme. Difficult terrain uses the flower goes into World 1-5, which is 2-5, I believe.
I believe so. It's definitely a desert world.
Oh yeah.
Proa is also going pretty smoothly through this stage, so we'll just have to see. Oh, taking out that jerk Lakitu.
Mm-hmm. Right now, Gimp Extreme is in the lead in our quad at this particular portion. With Proa not too far behind DLP. DLP is and Ace Arrow still working through their World 5. In fact, I think both of them are just hunting for items at this point. At the very least, taking care of their Hammer Brothers.
Well, I imagine at some point, you just see it. You commit to a strategy. If your goal is to go and try and grab all the Hammer Bros, you do it.
Oh, you're gonna pick up a star to go through that particular A level. Takes care of Lakitu, that particular portion. And Gimp Extreme taking care of business over here. Finishing his World 1. He is sub 25 the first 5 worlds.
Yeah, we've had this very, very solid play from Gimp Extreme.
Go ahead, make my day. I love those little things that Fred puts in those randomizer. World 7's up next, so that means by virtue of that we will see we'll see 1, 2, 3. We'll have World 3 last. Of course, World 8 will be our destination.
Yep, 3 is our final randomized world.
So for those keeping score at home, the worlds we went through are going through this evening. 4, 2, 6, 5, 1, 7, 3. Of course, we'll end as per usual in HE double hockey sticks, aka the Great Equalizer.
Ooh, did Proa get it? Proa got the
the strat.
Proa got the skip.
She got the skip. Applaud that man. That's what I say. Game going through his Fort Uno, Fort One, one fort.
Yes,
Picks up a cloud. That's going to help him a little bit.
Yes.
Now he's going through his particular pipes to see what he's got.
At this point, oh boy.
4-2 with double big bosses.
3-2, yes.
Ooh.
Normally a boss bass stage, and so what happens when the randomizer rolls a boss bass in a boss bass stage? Well, it gives you a second boss bass.
Actually, 4-1 is not a regular boss bass stage.
Oh, that is. Yes, you're right.
He just got that. We're about to see double boss basses on 4 screens, my friend. That's what's going on.
Yes, we are. I mixed that up with another stage with a World 3 stage that is a boss bass stage.
And Gip Extreme was going for the fly skip. Got about 2/3 of it. And the Piranha Plants gave out clouds as well. So we're gonna get cloud heavy. If World 3 happens to not be free, the clouds will help.
They will, and we'll just have to see how this all plays out, because I'm still lost as to which pipe we want to go in World 7.
Well, the goal is to find the All of Happiness, and Gimp Extreme found the Troll Pipe. But he's got another option. He will verify that.
Proa gambled with a hammer, and the gamble paid off massively.
Oh, yeah. He found the All of Happiness, the shortcut version, too. Big deal for Pro. He is going to jump in the lead for this particular quad.
Until Gimp Extreme uses a music box to put the plant to sleep and immediately take back the lead.
This is going to be close. We have a close race in the quad. But like I said, it is a lead, not the lead. DLP will finish up his World 1. And Ace Arrow is going through his World 1 slowly but surely as well. Of course, for those wondering, we are keeping track for the on the SRL, which has at least 8 more people. I can tell you, Human Mustard, Macobra, One Fine Day, S Diesel, and Bent Glass Tube are in this race as well. If they, of course, finish first, we'll tell you what the best time was. But right now, Pro and Gip Extreme are in sync.
Yes, basically, they're
we have a tie going into World 3.
But Gimp Extreme will have a hammer, so we'll see.
Gimp Extreme will have a hammer. Will that gamble ultimately pay off for for Proa? We will find out. But right now, at this point, it is pretty much a lead.
Well,
and of course, World 7, nothing, nada. Bowser says, "I got you, lady. What are you gonna do about it?"
And I was wrong. I think it might be Proa who has a hammer. Proa does have a hammer. It might be Gimp Extreme.
I believe not. Proa has. There were at least 2 hammers used. So.
Well, Proa used a cloud to skip that stage, and I believe I saw a hammer in there.
And hello. If you have a hammer, World 3 is free. Well, if you have a cloud as well. So that's huge for Proa. Does Gimp go for the same strat? He's gonna. Well, he's not. He's gonna go through Coin Boy for another item.
Yeah, Gimp Extreme found a, and it's a pretty quick Wendy thanks to Fire Flower. So Proa.
Yeah, we don't know how many. Gimp Extreme's going to pick up for that time loss, he will pick up a P-Wing. There are 2 tunnels, so one of the tunnels, if he does still have a hammer. And for those wondering, is that God Pipe? If you have a hammer, yes, it is. The price of payment is literally a hammer. And Gimp Extreme finds that out as well. He has his hammer. He will pay the toll and join us in World 8. But excuse Pro 007, he is an H double hockey sticks, which is the equalizer. The goal here,
yes,
find Bowser's Keep, the very last map of the game. However, everything's still randomized. It could be a lock, or you need to build a bridge.
Or you could have to build multiple bridges.
Which, there's a couple of locks there. Believe Pro got a couple of free pipes. He's checking his terrain.
Yep, it is a gamble to not take the forts as you find them, but...
Oh, but he does find the keep, and he does find something. That was the regular tank, which is a Hammer Bro, which is pretty much which is Hammer Brother level, which is pretty much useless. So Pro will take your death. He knows where the keep is. However, he does not know what builds the bridge to the castle. So
he knows
one fort is necessary at the very least. And with that information, Pro will approach his first fort, which happens to be 5 in the sky.
Yeah, so this might come down to just how you play the overworld.
This is one of those cases where for Pro it is a gamble.
In this flag set, that's all World 8 is. You gotta take a gamble, and hope that your skill and fate smiles down on you.
It does unlock the hand bridge, which is mostly pipes and other forts. So that's going to help a little bit. Now, Pro, does he go for... No, he does not go for Cloud just yet. He enters almost to Fred level. It is 8-2 in vanilla. Actually, it is 8-2 in complete position.
Yes,
ladies and gentlemen, Fred!
Clouding there actually would have been almost useless because
he would have to play it.
You have to come back.
Mm-hmm. And Gimp Extreme has found this keep. Now he just needs to build his bridge. Bro, he's going through his map. And DLP going through his for the 7 maze level. Ace Arrows has found, looks like he has found the Isle of Happiness and his shortcut as well. DLP still in, he's actually going through the levels. Does he have a cloud?
He will use a cloud there. Oh, DLP.
Because I believe both Gimp and Proa used a cloud and a hammer to get through. So it's not it is not a free World 3 as we've mentioned before.
Yeah. At least this stage, it could be crueler.
Yeah, Pro will take care of another boom boom. That should open up a couple of things. Maybe not necessarily. We had a hand level, which got sucked in, and Proa says, "Nope."
We saw an explosion down south, which means not opening up the bridge.
New. But it does open a pipe,
which I presume would send us to
the hand bridge proper. In this case, he's got a couple of levels to go through. He will go through with World 3-8.
And I believe that will mean that Pro is going to have a decision to make. Do you, after defeating whatever is at the tank spot, I believe that would be the super tanks. Do you go check Bowser's?
Which is a fort at this point. We know that.
Yep. Do you go check Bowser's castle? It's a long trek back. Or do you also do the airship?
Honestly, both are there. I'd build it. And Proa says nope to that, but he has to go through it. He has a hammer suit as well. We forgot to mention. So I believe the last letter did contain the hammer suit. So it has been found.
I believe Gimp Extreme did cloud past this stage to go around, and is now having to backtrack to find a way to open the lock.
Once again, you brought up the cloud being useless in this case.
It got information, but sometimes...
Actually, no, it was not the hammer suit in the letter. So Proa just straight up found the hammer suit. The last level provided the last letter provided a hammer. And for those wondering how quickly can someone go through this, Human Mustard in first place in our SRL chat. Official SRL time 3614. So Human Mustard found the magic sauce.
Yep.
And it looks like Proa did go through the first fort. He's gonna take the gamble. It does. So yeah, he did not need. So the airship, the Air Force, as you saw in the Gimp Extremes level, not necessary, not required. That gives us Proa 007 in our quad.
With the hammer suit?
Go through up here. Hammer suit, he's going to go through the world's most famous clip.
And I don't think that Bowser's going to have a good time.
No, he will not.
At least his hitbox won't be taken advantage of.
No. And case in point, there you go. And down goes Koopa. We have the time already. We'll tell you as soon as he goes through that door. And so we'll also give you Bacobra's time as well. He just finishes as well. We have a dot done from Pro 007, 37-34 official SRL time. With Bacobra, who was not broadcast, 37-54. So
very close between those two. 3 down, and we still have plenty of race left to go on our restream.
We do. And we now switch our audio to Gimp Extreme, who will go through his fort.
Many people's least favorite fort. The World 8 Fort. The Maze.
And joining us, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of our particular quad, the one and the only Pro 007, GG.
GG.
Thanks.
That proved to be
as it turned out,
difficult
Mustard did the
terrain.
same thing I did, which was die at the end of Atlantis. That
Yeah,
was
we
just
saw
before
that.
I went live after what happened to Deeks. But
Yeah, I believe we would join you just a little bit after that
unfortunate,
death.
to say the least.
Yeah, it looks like we joined you just after that death.
Overall, it was pretty good. I probably played a few too many levels. Notably, one fort in World 7 probably shouldn't have done that, but because I knew by logic it wasn't required.
Otherwise,
Such as it is.
oh well. Such as it is, you still won the You subbed in and won the quad for Teeks. I guess Teeks gets I guess you get the relief points.
Yeah.
Did you know by logic that the Air Force couldn't be needed?
No, I didn't. It was a total guess. I gambled at that point that it was going to involve some backtracking, but I know from the opening map if it was required or not. So it was a total guess. I just kind of figured, they're not going to make me do this. It was just me taking a shot in the dark, and I got it. So, which was nice.
Oh, and a beautiful clip by Gimp Extreme in Bowser's Castle there.
Yeah, so we speculated on if you were going to gamble on after the first after the Super Tanks equivalent stage, and it paid off.
Yeah, that was good. And I think upon reflection, I probably should have been a little more aggressive with some of my items. There was a pretty decent stockpile of hammers and clouds, but I kind of held on way too long. That ultimately, I think, hurt. But there also weren't a lot of places where I really could have gotten 2 or 3 level breaks, which is what I was kind of holding out for, and unfortunately, they really didn't happen until the end.
Yeah, these flags can be kind of mean to your hammers, and this time certainly was.
Gimp Extreme Duns at 40-51, by the way, second place in our quad.
And fourth place.
I get the feeling Human Mustard did the same thing you did as far as the gamble after the first of the levels there. I think
I imagine so, because it makes sense, and the seed was kind of tilting fairly linear, so it was bound to be something. Hey, there's a Gimp Extreme.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, GG to Gimp Extreme, which just joins us in the call.
GG, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was something, all right.
See, I played really well 1 through 7, and I got to World 8, and I forgot how to play Mario. It's just so many deaths that I was so upset with, and I was like, I never make that stupid mistake.
Well,
it's a race, it's gonna happen.
Atlantis ruined me. I got caught. That stupid Paragoomba above water ruined me. Ultimately, because he got me all tied up because I had to try and dodge him because I was small Mario at the time while trying to get the mushroom and didn't, and I thought, I'm not gonna die, and then of course a blooper chain completely sinks me.
Yes, the more you tell yourself you're not gonna die, the more likely it is you are. That's a rule.
Yeah,
the boss pass will feed on your ego.
A couple of my deaths, besides the one that I had in 5F2, most of my deaths were towards the end of the stage. That really hurt.
Yeah.
I was really upset with that because I died in the Air Force. And then I didn't play terribly. Some of the deaths I took were intentional in World 8, but that 5F2, I died like 3 times. And then I went into 1-5 twice. That was the tank, and I didn't mean to.
Oh.
So many silly mistakes like
DLP
that.
going through the same gamble in this case, actually. It looks like he's going to check his first pipe in World 8. Yeah. So the rule of thumb, at least for this quad, seems to be do 2 hand bridges, check your pipe.
It's just sometimes, Mario Randomizer, you just gotta gamble sometimes, and if it works out, it's gonna work out really well, and if not, then you get to have a sad trek back.
Yeah, especially in that case because of all the pipe checks. But in my case, I think this was right around the time when Mustard finished, so I thought, okay, I gotta go for something here. It's like it's all or nothing at this point. I'm just gonna go for it and hope that it works out, and luckily it did. But that could easily backfire.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too, because I saw that you and Mustard and then Macobra finished, and I was like, I gotta just start gambling at this point, because if I didn't die so many times at certain points, I would have been right there with you guys at the end.
Yeah.
Actually, here's a question I'm curious about. Where was the hammer suit found? By the way,
That was the World 6 reward.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yes.
I believe you guys were skipping through those letters pretty quickly, as well you should, but we were wondering where that hammer came from.
Yeah. And surprisingly, I felt like the hammers, like to break the locks, I didn't feel like they were that effective this time around. I only used one.
In this flag set, sometimes they just don't like hammers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Done from DLP 316. I'll give you the SRL time in just a few seconds, as long as I can hover over. 45:09 official SRL time.
A fifth place overall, a solid run for DLP, and Ace of Arrows after this Boom Boom fight might be going back to go.
Yeah, the seems the strategy so far was get through that first hand level tank, and then go back. What is his choice? He actually chooses to go through both, which is the Navy. For those who are actually curious, there you go.
Well, GG's all and GG to Mustard for a fine performance as always, and GG's to everybody else who raced. We had a good turnout tonight. We had nine racers. Unfortunately, dropped to 8, and
yeah, Tiggs had a crash. We actually saw it. He actually was in the airship level, goes down the pipe, and then black screen.
And answer Macobra's question, yes, I found 2. One in one fort in World 7, and then the Piranha on the island was the North Central Piranha in World 7 had a cloud as well. Fortunately, I only got to use 1. So
I used one in World 8 and it backfired.
I used 1 right at the start of World 3 because that was a freebie, and fortunately, the way the map's set up, I couldn't use the other one. So,
yes, the map just sometimes does that. And now we have also been joined by DLP 316. GG.
GG. All right, we only have about a few minutes to switch everything over, so it depends on how quickly Ace Arrows finishes up.
Yes,
but we will talk to DLP 316. GG.
Hey, GG. Man, that was something.
It was definitely something, especially that adventure that was World 8.
Yeah, there were. I didn't find any clouds, I don't think, and I think just about every nasty level that you can get was in there, and I didn't play very well on top of it, so I'm a little disappointed in that, but what can you do?
Hey, you know what? You beat Bowser.
Yeah, that's right.
And unless Ace of Arrows takes a hit, we're not going to get to see any Bowser hitbox fun times.
Well, we're, at the very least, it'll be done quickly and efficiently. That's not a bad.
Everyone made it with the hammer suit then?
Yep, that is 4 for.
Yeah, that was. We were told that was a World 6 reward. That's not a bad thing. We actually didn't see it until we were told. So there you go.
Nice.
Yes, everyone was hustling. Everyone was very effective at getting through the World 6 letter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That 6-6 level is just brutal with all the bloopers and stuff. The lag, like I hit the button just like one time and it just shot me up right into something that killed me.
And Ace Arrows will finish. We'll finish up official SRL time. 48:37 is the time, and we will get an Ace Arrows in there to get a few minutes, a few seconds of talk, hopefully.
And right before Ace of Arrows was S Diesel at 47:51. So that is all of our runners.
Everyone's sub 50 in this run. That is not that's not a bad thing.
Yep.
Nice.
And thank you everyone for being featured. Let's see if we can get Ace of Arrows in here very shortly. In about 5 minutes, we have apparently a Diddy Kong Racing all trophy races.
Yeah, next up on the Speed Gaming, which is scheduled on this particular channel, Diddy Kong Racing all trophies race featuring Trident Tail, Pigs, the Prez. That's the race. That's going to be coming on in a few minutes, but not before we say hi and GG to Ace of Arrows, who makes a triumphant return.
Yes, I said for months I was coming back and didn't know when, but I'm finally here.
Performing for us.
Yes, it is so good to be back to Mario 3.
Forgive me if I may be wrong here. There seems to be a little bit of ring rust there.
I don't know. I mean, I think I performed pretty decently for somebody who hasn't really ran the game for some months.
Overall, I mean, it was a solid run. Sub 50s, sub 50 is not too bad, and
yeah, anytime you beat the vanilla world record, you know you're all right at Rando. As usual, it came down to World 8 being hecka confusing.
Yeah, World 8 was one of the ruder World 8s I've seen, just because of the number of pipes you have to go through.
Dude, I went through that first pipe, and I immediately went to the castle, and I was like, it would be the funniest thing on the face of the earth if this ship is going to build that bridge, and I don't have to do anything else in this world.
And
everyone in our quad did the strat of they went through the hand bridge, did the first hand bridge, and then raced right back to see if that happened. That was our gamble, and it obviously paid off. You decided to play the safe route and all that stuff. So, real quick comment before we head out. So that was pretty much the strat. GG's to everyone here.
GG.
Hey, GG, thanks for commentating and thanks for having me.
All right. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, coming up next on this particular channel, we have Diddy Kong Racing All Trophies Race, Trident Tail, and Pigs the Prez of the Great White Hope. My name's Matty J. Have a good one, everybody.
You too.
Take care.
So long.